Hi everyone, Mon here. Welcome to the channel, Intuitive Soul Savant. And I'm Mon and I'm a real person, not AI. And welcome to Saturday, the 25th. I have pre-recorded this video at the exact time that Mercury stations direct on Friday here, Sydney time. I leave exact time, unbelievable, to head up north from where I am now to Surfers Paradise for a surfing competition. So I pre-recorded, which isn't really what I like to do. I like to sort of be in the moment. And I know other astrologers pre-record their videos, so I'm doing that today. I don't want to miss this video. You know, next week, it's Thursday today, so I'm only 2 days out. Next week is a big week. It's action-packed next week, so I don't want to miss this video for you. So on Saturday, Sydney time, 25th of July, Mercury in Cancer. Now, remember, Friday, the 24th, Sydney time, Mercury stations direct. All right. So it stations direct at 16 degrees, 19 minutes, Cancer. And then the next day, Saturday here, Mercury in Cancer sextiles Venus in Virgo. All right. And that's very early in the morning here. Saturday morning, Friday for you guys in the Northern Hemisphere. And that will be at 16 degrees, 20 minutes. So 1 minute from the station. So we know that Mercury is actually physically moving forward, okay? Retrograde, and it's moving forward. So it's making a lovely sextile. Now, remember, sextile is an easy aspect. However, some action is to be taken. So this is in a water sextiling earth energy, all right? So communication with some family. Maybe there's been a rough trot in the last month or so, understandably. And, communication, Mercury in Cancer, wanting to communicate to make a relationship a little better. Maybe one party was a little critical. Venus in Virgo, and some truth talks need to be taken with Mercury Cancer sextiling Venus in Virgo. All right, and also that day, Saturday here, later in the afternoon. So it'll be very early Saturday morning, Northern Hemisphere. We've got retrograde Neptune in Aries, sextiling retrograde Pluto in Aquarius. Now, this is one of these 4 degrees aspects that everybody's been discussing, okay? So that is at 4 degrees and 20 minutes. So that's Neptune in Aries, retrograde Neptune in Aries, sextiling retrograde Pluto in Aquarius. So that's the fire energy in easy aspect, sextile to a air energy, Aquarius, Pluto in Aquarius. All right. So whatever's going humming underneath with these 4 degrees outer planets, the bucket. All right. And that bucket is made up of the sun in Leo, which it is already, the sun in Leo, Uranus in Gemini, Neptune in Aries, and Pluto in Aquarius. So it's sort of the shape like that. Well, in my chart it is, but it could be shaped like that in your chart, or it could be shaped like that, okay, depending on where those houses are for you. And the thing that makes the handle is the moon in Libra at 4 degrees, okay? And that's all coming. That's all happening, all right? And that's happening before we have our full moon next week. So you understand the bucket philosophy that's happening. It's a very slow energy, nothing to jump up and down about, just be aware, all right? But it is if you've got those 4 degrees planets in your chart, the sun or personal planets, you'll know if it's important for you. You will feel this energy, no doubt, on a personal level. But as a collective, Pluto and Aquarius, the collective, we're all involved in this energy as a collective. So that's Neptune retrograde in Aries, sextiling Pluto retrograde in Aquarius at 4 degrees 20 minutes. Now, this is going to happen another 12 times, right? This sextile between Pluto and Neptune is going to happen another 12 times. So this is what we mean, astrologers, when they say it's not an overnight thing. This is going right till 2032. So that's another 6 years and, lots of little 12 sextiles between now and then, right? All manoeuvring the collective. But us as individuals, we're the working bees, okay? Especially the soul savants out there. We're holding this frequency of energy, all right? So that's all happening on Saturday, Sydney time. Nothing here, Sydney time. Sunday. Monday is a big day here. Saturn in Aries will station retrograde. Monday the 27th. It's very early in the morning here, 5:56 a.m. Sydney time. So that will be Sunday for you guys in the Northern Hemisphere, that Saturn will station retrograde, all right? Now, Saturn is at 14 degrees 45 minutes when it stations retrograde in Aries, and it will retrograde all the way back to 7 degrees 56 minutes Aries. And that will be the 11th of December. That Saturn will station at 7 degrees 56 minutes in December to station direct. Okay, Saturn goes retrograde every year. I was born when Saturn was retrograde. It is a time that if we've been disciplining ourselves, especially in Aries, and whatever work we've been doing, it's always about work with Saturn. It's always about discipline. It's always about manifesting something. Everything has to have rhyme and reason with Saturn. So we're going to internalize that energy in the retrograde. All right, so don't expect all new stuff to happen when Saturn is retrograde, because Saturn is the material aspect of our horoscope, all right? And once upon a time, it was that Saturn ruled reality. But now we're understanding that Neptune, also Saturn's in Aries, also in Aries, Neptune really could be the reality and not Saturn, okay? Because Saturn is the matrix, basically, and it's a construct, and it can easily fall down, and it is falling down. So let's remember that what's all Saturn isn't true, okay? And, that's what we used to say about Neptune. It's all an illusion, all right? It's all a dream. Well, maybe the dream is the reality. So Saturn station retrograde in Aries all the way to 11th of December. Now, on Monday as well in the afternoon, that'll be early Monday morning for you guys, Northern Hemisphere, the 27th here, the Sun in Leo opposes Pluto in Aquarius, and Pluto's retrograde, as we mentioned. Now, this is big, okay? This is big energy. You've got that Sun shining its light at Pluto. Pluto likes to be in the dark, remember. Pluto's best work is done in the shade, in the shadows. So that Sun, it's got a big ego in Leo, so there's rocking and rolling for Leos, Aquarians, Scorpios, and Taurians. This is an activation. This is a Dark Night of the Soul activation. Pluto is in Aquarius, though, so it's a collective Dark Night of the Soul activation. I have no idea, and nor do I want to predict what's going on out there with the powers that be, because they're absolutely insane. But obviously, at 4 degrees, 17 minutes of Leo and Aquarius, something may go down, but I don't know, because I'm not connected to that. So I'm more about the personal, okay? I'm more about the individual in the collective, helping and changing itself, to better help the collective. So do the individual work. Rick Levine says, think globally, act locally. It's a similar sort of a thing that I have. We're the individuals. We need to step up ourselves and become the best selves that we can become, which will then affect the collective, all right? Being mean on social media, you know, arguing with people about what's right and wrong is not going to do it. It's an inner job, okay? So the sun in Leo will oppose Pluto retrograde in Aquarius at 4 degrees, 17 minutes. This is another one of these 4 degrees. Now, the same day, the sun in Leo is going to trine retrograde Neptune in Aries at 4 degrees and 19 minutes, okay? So you've got the sun opposing Pluto, the sun trining Neptune the day before Neptune sextiled Pluto on the Saturday, all right? So this is still in this 4 degrees business, okay? And that's Monday, big day Monday, everybody. Tuesday, the next day, very early in the morning, so this will be Monday evening, Northern Hemisphere, that same sun in Leo is going to sextile Uranus in Gemini at 4 degrees, 52 minutes. So, you know, this 4 degrees thing didn't happen all in one day. It's a rollout, you could say. It's a rollout, all right? Now the sun's in Leo. It's part of the party, all right? And Leos love a party. So that is Tuesday, the 28th. The sun in Leo is sextiling Uranus in Gemini at 4 degrees and 52 minutes. All right. And on the Wednesday, back to Venus in Virgo is going to square Mars in Gemini. Now, this is an activation energy about relationships, about deciding or planning. What you don't go into the judgment of others, the criticalness of others, right? That's where Virgo goes because it desires perfection. It can always see what's missing, the glass half full, so to speak, half empty, yeah, so to speak. So on Wednesday the 29th, late in the afternoon here, so it'll be early Wednesday morning, that Venus in Virgo is squaring Mars in Gemini, okay? Gemini is all about communication, gossiping, getting things out and about, running around town. In your perfectionism, are you overloading yourself? Are you running around to do too many chores in your perfectionism? Just be careful of that when Venus is in Virgo. Venus isn't that comfortable in Virgo because of the rigidity that Virgo has as a planner and as a day planner, and that perfectionism and judgment and details and dotting the I's and crossing the T's. You know, these are all great traits, but sometimes they can be taken too far. You know, we've got to look at workaholism as well. You know, is Virgo energy chasing money, Venus, and overdoing it, Mars in Gemini? There's a square. There's going to be some action needed, whether it's pullback or whether it's to move, okay? You know, don't get lazy there with the Venus energy in Virgo. If you're not workaholicing, you know, the laziness, Venus sometimes can just sit on the lounge and just on the couch and go, nope, that's it, I'm done. I just want to sit here and have a lovely food today and avoid conflict. Right? Venus doesn't like conflict. And here's Mars in Gemini. Mars loves conflict, you know. So that is Wednesday's energy. And that degrees is 21 degrees and 14 minutes. So, you know, check your charts, what you've got around there. And on the same day, Wednesday, late in the evening in Sydney time, so that'll be earlier Wednesday for you guys, you've got the sun in Leo. The sun in Leo is making lots of aspects this week in the early degrees, right? It conjuncts Jupiter in Leo. You've got some big fiery energy there. I think Jupiter goes behind the sun, all right? So that's at 6 degrees, 25 minutes. Now, I have a 7 degrees Leo ascendant, so I would be included in that energy. I will be away Okay. I- Inshallah, I'll be away. I have a light on my car that's been flashing. I leave when Mercury stations direct. So, I've pretty much just handed it over. I either make it or I don't make it up there. But I hope I make it because I really do need a break from the town. That's me. Sag moon, Leo rising. I just like to get out of the routine. But my life path number 4, and I live in unit 13, and this block is number 4, and all these aspects are on the 4 degrees. I think I've mastered stability. I've been here 11 years, the longest I've been anywhere, and the longest I've been in any town. A bit of a wild child with Venus and Mars in Aquarius. So, yeah, pray that I get away. All right. And if I don't, I don't. I accept that too. It's all meant to be. So Wednesday, Sun in Leo, conjunct Jupiter in Leo. Watch our egos, guys. If Jupiter is expansion, Jupiter is positivity, Leos are positive people. They're like little kids. They just see the fun and they see it happening. And Jupiter, yes, it shoots and expects to meet the mark, but I am guilty of this with the Leo rising. When things are going good, I can get too high on it, and think it's always going to be like that. And that is not reality, right? That's why I am here learning Capricorn lessons, because that's not reality, okay? It isn't always fabulous. It's up and down, like waves of the ocean, and like electrical waves, right? Spirals, this is what it's all about. So it's great to feel good, with a bit of a flat line instead of up and down, and we can master that, okay, by not allowing ourselves to get too overexcited. Sun in Leo conjunct Jupiter in Leo on Wednesday. And that brings us to Thursday, the next day. And what do we have here? A full moon. Now, it's not 36. It's 36 minutes after midnight, Sydney time. So your full moon will be Wednesday, Northern Hemisphere. And it's at 6 degrees, 30 minutes. So the moon will be conjuncting Pluto. Pluto's at 4 degrees and 17, 4 degrees, 20 minutes. This full moon is at 6 degrees, so it's in orb. And the full moon, big bright full moon in Aquarius, will be opposite Jupiter. And it'll be opposite the sun, because that's what makes a full moon, okay? And that's 6 degrees and 30 minutes. This is a very interesting week, extremely interesting week. So that's Thursday, full moon in Aquarius, okay? I look at this week and I can't help but think, yeah, something's going to go down out there. These aspects are big time aspects. And we know that the powers that want to be have astrologers. So if they're going to plan anything dubious, they will use their astrology to do it, okay? They have astrologers. They're not stupid, right? So these degrees is just very interesting for the whole week. So, whatever does go on out there, just keep to your own path, keep in your own lane, okay? Because all that is just to cause a reaction, to cause chaos. They're chaos makers, these powers that want to be, all right? So we've got the full moon in Aquarius, 6 degrees, 30 minutes. 36 minutes after midnight Thursday. So Wednesday night here at Sydney time, everybody will go, oh, the moon's full. No one seems to know the exact time the moon is full, but they say the moon's full for 3 nights. I love it. These are people that aren't astrologers, obviously. So Thursday, the moon will be opposite Jupiter just before it goes full, right? How many minutes? 9 minutes, 11 minutes. 11 minutes after the moon goes full, it will oppose Jupiter. 8 minutes, okay? And then it'll sextile Saturn. Now, I've included this because the moon in Aquarius is going to sextile that retrograde Saturn. But how about these degrees? The time here, Sydney time, I know this is different for you guys in the north. Sydney time is 4:44 p.m. that the moon in Aquarius will sextile the retrograde Saturn in Aries at 14 degrees 44 minutes. So there's some 444 numbers, right? So we're talking fours. Fours is stability. It's boring as, okay? That's why I struggled so hard to become stable. I didn't become stable until my 50s. Other than that, I was a Sag moon person, you know, travel, move house. Oh, I don't like this town. Here we go. But as you get older, you can't really do that. You know, you've got to get a little stability. And my numerology life path is a 22/4. Okay, so there you go. And we've got 444s in that moon in Aquarius, sextiling retrograde Saturn, okay, in Aries. And it's an easy aspect of sextiles. However, they're different elements. We've got air element in the Aquarius and we've got fire element in the Saturn in Aries, right? So something you need to move to make it beneficial for you. Something needs to happen to make it beneficial for you, all right? And then Friday the 31st, there's nothing. Sorry, I have a great big school teacher board on wheels. And that's that's what I look at, all right? Yes, so Saturday we've got the 1st of August, Venus in Virgo squaring Lilith in Sag. But I'll be back on Saturday, okay? So I'm going to release this video Saturday, the 25th, and I'll be back the next Saturday. So, you know, we've got this big week. I just want to go back to Wednesday. You know, it looks like such a small aspect, the Venus in Virgo square, the Mars in Gemini, but it sort of sits in the middle of the week between these sextiles and full moons and trines and 4 degrees and all of this. It's sort of like the only square of the week on the Wednesday with the Venus in Virgo squaring the Mars in Gemini at 21 degrees and 14 minutes. Now, here's something interesting with that. It's going to happen another 2 times. It's going to happen again on the 11th of October. The Venus will be retrograde in Scorpio and the Mars will be in the Leo, and that's a square, right? So Venus and Mars are playing a game as well here. And then on the 17th of January, my birthday, the Venus in Sagittarius is going to square a retrograde Mars in Virgo. Right, so Venus in Virgo squaring Mars in Gemini, and it's going to happen another 2 times right up into January. And Venus is going to be retrograde the first time it happens, and then Mars is going to be retrograde the 3rd time that it happens. Okay, so you know, just make a note about that. It's the hardest aspect next week, in between full moons and trines and sextiles and conjunction and the opposition with the Pluto and the Sun in Leo, right? So there's a lot, guys. There's a lot, and I hope I haven't gone too fast, you know, to get to that. Yes. All right, that's it. Let me know in the comments if it was all too much for you, but it is a big week, all right? No panicking, nothing to panic about. Just ride the wave. You know what's going on. If anything crazy goes on out there, you know that it was forecast. We can't actually say with astrology what's going to happen. All we can do is give you the energies, and from there we join the dots, okay, in our own life, in our friends and family's life, and that's how we learn astrology in action, not just dry old astrology. Yeah, all right. Or textbook astrology, yeah. No, we want to feel it. Okay. Well, I love you all, you old souls out there, you star seeds.